The next plan sheet is the um, paving, grading, and drainage plan. So what we have on this sheet, if we'll zoom in on top of it, we have the layout of the project. But we also have each individual lot has elevations associated with all four corners, and you'll see this dashed area. That's where the actual house can actually fit inside the project. And you have the lot number, the letter A or B, and you have FF. So the A stands for the drainage type of the lot. It can be A, B, or C. These, like I said, are the elevations of each lot corners, and you'll see these little squiggle lines with the arrowhead is telling you that the direction it's draining. So take a look. It's going from a 90.4 to a 90.2 to an 89.3. So the slope breaks somewhere in here. This one has from a 90.4 to an 88.4 to an 85. So there's a ridge line through here and it drains toward the road. Now when you say you have an A lot, you're almost always draining toward the road. Now take a look at these lots over here. These lots are next to the pond. So there's a stormwater management pond right here, and these are C lots. So take a look at the grades on this one. So, oops, sorry about that. If you take a look at the grades on these lots, then you can see that it goes from an 86.5 at the street's edge all the way down to an 80.5, and it discharges into the pond. So the lots around the sea or around the pond are all C lots. Now you do have one up here, and this is called a B lot. Now the B lot means that half of it drains to the front and the other half drains to the back. So for example, part of this lot drains to the front, usually they're split in half. So you have a road in front that gets drainage, and you have some type of open space in the back that gets drainage. Now, on these, just because of the way the lots are set, these were set up as C, so everything's draining to the back. So you have an A, B, or C lot. The other thing that's in these plans is in the center line of the road, you actually have elevations of what the street's doing, so you know which direction the water in the street's going. A lot of times in the paving, grading, and drainage sheet that differs from the way that I do it is I'll actually put the storm information in this sheet also. So this one doesn't, and that's fine. Everybody has a little bit different ways of doing it. The other thing that's in the set of plans is down here. These are the descriptions of how the lot grading looks. So if you take a look at that, it says lot grading details on type A lots. That means everything is draining to the street. And here is a B lot. Through half of it, you've got water draining to the street and water draining to the rear of the lot. Whereas C lots, everything is draining away and going down into the rear of the lot. You do have a little bit of a low line right in front of the house to get it around and out to the back of the house. The other thing that's on this plan is the wall between Votah Road and the project area. And this means that this is the slope is a 2-to-1 max. The other thing that's in the set of plans is the detail of the pond. So the pond is a dry pond. Its elevation at the bottom is 75 and the top of the pond is 80. That means it's a 5-foot deep pond, and you'll see that the slope is every 5 foot over it drops 1. Right here it says that it needs to be sodded, so the grass in this area needs to be sodded. The other thing that it shows is there's a berm, a 10-foot berm, and it's at 1%. Typically on here, oh, one more thing. SHWE is the seasonal high water elevation is typically 62. So there is a depth between the bottom of the pond and the seasonal high water elevation. This is where all the percolation goes down since this is a dry pond. Okay, there is no control structure outside of this pond, so all the project water goes into the pond and stays there until it percolates down into the ground. Okay, so the other thing that we have on here is it says all slopes are 4-to-1 and steeper. All slopes that are 4-to-1 and steeper need to be sodded. This is almost always a rule because of erosion protection. Okay, so that's what's on the paving, grading, and drainage sheet. We have finished floor elevations. That's the concrete pad elevation. We have the drainage lot type. We have drainage areas, and we have elevations on all corners of our lots. So when the contractor builds, he'll actually build to those elevations. All right, so that is the information for the drainage, paving, grading, and drainage plan.